Greetings! First off, I'd like to thank everyone for their positive and encouraging feedback from my previous test videos. I've received a number of great ideas that I've been testing out, and I still love to hear more from everyone of how they've been using the traps, the different configurations, and the different builds they have. Today I'm going to be showcasing a few different setups. That's going to be inspired by some of my own testing, but also the ideas and suggestions that some of the players have been providing from the community. The focus today will be on the blade trap and how the electric fence can be augmenting this in practical scenarios. It seems pretty clear already that no matter what trap setup you have, adding on an electric fence is going to be easy and very effective. You place around the other traps, it'll stun them and allow for the other traps to maximize the damage output. So let's do a quick dive into the stats of the electric fence trap. The main thing to look at here is the shocked buff. It has the duration of 4.5 seconds, during which time it gives -3 health every 0.5 seconds. This gives it a total damage output of 27 hit points during this duration. It also drops the entity spawn speed down to 10% for 3.2 seconds. This is important to note because it means for the last 1.3 seconds, while the entity is still under the shock buff, it can actually move and escape the trap area. Let's look at the blade trap. The configuration looks a lot more daunting, but the focus here is really the damage value, which is 20, which is again how much damage it gives to the mobs. It also has the damage received of 4, which is the damage it takes itself when it deals out these 20 damage. In practical terms, it means 5 blade hits will kill a standard zombie with 100 health points, and the trap itself will take 20 damage. This makes it great for killing zombies, but it will require maintenance quite regularly. And I think this is a very nice way of balancing it without making it overpowered like I feel the electric fence trap is, for instance. So the first room is going to be a standard blade trap setup. I have a couple of fences in there as well. So why fences? Well, the problem with placing these blade traps in ceiling is that crawlers and spiders will actually pass underneath. That's naturally a bit of a problem. However, when you electrocute them, they stand up and will be within reach of the blade traps. Of course, having some electric fences also helps when you get dogs or wolves attacking, but that's not the main issue. So let me turn it on here. And let's spawn a couple of different zombies here. So let's do a crawler and let's do a spider. You'll see them walk up here and get electrocuted. And they start standing up as well and get shot. And there one head goes and there the second goes. So as you see, it definitely makes a big difference. The second room is very similar. I only put one blade trap and a couple of fences here, but they're otherwise the same. The difference is that I placed 50 pillars underneath, which should help the corpses to fall down so you can actually loot them easier. Let me see if I can get that placed, and let's spawn a couple of zombies here. And as you see, they'll hopefully start walking up here, get chopped up, and the loot will fall down. And this naturally makes looting them a lot easier. And if anyone is standing up here, well, you can shoot them as well. Pretty good place to loot. With a couple loot chests, and you have that solved. A problem with the basic ceiling setup is, however, that the zombies occasionally see the blade trap as an obstacle. That means they'll start beating at it, which is not really very fun because sometimes they do it outside of the blade range, and that's just not very fair. So a suggestion to avoid that is actually to use just the basic ramp. You set it down, you place a ramp, which means the zombie itself will be walking off and only be hitting the trap once it's on the ramp. That means that hopefully it will not be targeting the blade trap as much. It's a lot easier to replace the ramp than it is to replace the blade trap itself. So let's spawn in a couple of zombies here. Including, let's see if we can get a crawler as well. And of course, let's start the trap. As you see, it basically chops the head off and electrocutes them. And you see the crawler will be standing up, and even though he doesn't always make it far enough to get hit by the blade trap, eventually he'll die just from the damage. And well, As you saw, he was pushed up enough to get killed by the blade trap. And that helps a bit because it means that they won't be beating on the blade trap as much, but you still get to kill them. Now the final room is an attempt to give a nice warm welcome to visitors who are using your ladders. While unfortunately you cannot place a hatch right above the ladder, by making a combination of the blade trap and an electrical fence, you can actually give them a nice deadly welcome. So let me shut off the old trap and let me start this one. And let's spawn in a couple of zombies here. You see, it's quite effective. They actually walk up the stairs a lot faster than they walk along the ground, which is a little bit peculiar, but again, the trap generally can handle it. Sometimes, as you see, it chops up their legs and then they have problem coming up again, but usually eventually they get killed. Well, be killed. You could actually combine this with a motion sensor such that the trap and the fence actually only got electricity when there is a zombie around. That'll help you from chopping your own head off as well. Hopefully the wall place traps will be fixed so we can actually test them out and find some fun and ways to use them as well, because currently they don't really do any damage when you walk underneath them. But that's it. If you enjoy my trap videos, leave a like, subscribe, and I'd love to hear more suggestions for how to build these traps and how to place them. Have a great one.